start. So going to the news stories, we got a variety of different kind of news this week. So the first one's more factual than usual. We have like opinions and reactions to. This is a real PC story. This is like a real heavy PC story. So people who aren't really into that tune, there's a website called G2A, which sells PC usually codes. So it'll usually give you the Steam code or the Bethesda code or the Ubisoft key for a game, usually for a crazy discount or like super cheap and stuff like that. And I know Steam usually has like its sales, but those feel a little bit legit. This is like a third-party website that you give them money, they give you the code, and then you go to a different launcher to kind of redeem it. And it's always kind of been in a shady area. So the story goes, after years of shrugging off claims that GTA sold stolen keys, they have admitted to shifting copies which were illegally obtained. G2A has, I keep trying to say GTA. G2A has forwarded the following statement intended to show clear, where am I? That it does not, where am I messing up? Okay, the blog post. The blog does not include the word apology or sorry. So their main statement was, we would be the first to admit that our formative years as a company, we took too long to recognize that a small number of individuals were abusing our marketplace. However, the criticism we received was the wake-up call we needed, and over the last years, we have totally committed to tackling any incidents of fraud on our site. Today, some of the most sophisticated property we've installed some of the most sophisticated property anti-fraud AI technology of any online marketplace for digital products. So, I know you're not really into the PC realm, and I'm fairly new. I've really only been in like the PC realm for 2 years, and quickly this site was brought to my attention. I have a friend who's been PC gamer for a long time. He works at Best Buy. He does this whole big thing, and it's always seemed shady, and I've stayed away from it for that reason. My only experience is I saw my friend, I think the week after Rage 2 launched. He purchased through G2A on their website a key for like half off, and immediately I was like, well, that doesn't seem right. That game just launched. Bethesda, everywhere else it was his full $60. He was able to get it for $30. And so since then I was like, this is weird, and I don't know how they're coming across these keys. I hadn't heard much of fraud where they're like selling fake keys. Like people weren't trying to redeem the keys, and they have issues with it. So my issue was always kind of wondering, like, how are you getting these keys and then selling them so cheap? And it's always been kind of in the background that they were stealing keys, or there were leftover keys and developer keys and things like that. And there's like super like theories about it, but it was never like upfront about it. And they've always been quiet. They kind of just not said anything, which is why I've always kind of steered away from that website. Like the only time I was ever tempted, I think, is they were selling like Star Wars Jedi on PC, like super cheap, and I was like, I don't trust this. I was like, I just don't trust this. And the last thing I want to do is, they can track keys for the most part. So it's weird that they're finally trying to like half admit that they're like, there may be some shady stuff that we get our keys, or the way the keys are being produced or pulled in. But that's pretty much the facts out there, is that some of these game keys have been stolen. Now, I'm surprised they don't go to the full force of... Again, you can usually track these kind of keys and stuff like that. They're not going out to like attack people or like shut people's like games down. Because, like, again, you usually have to take the key, go to a browser, and put it in. So, like, the Bethesda launcher never flags many people. Again, I've heard like very few stories when I looked into it that there were some issues. But as an outsider, what did you think of this kind of news? It was weirdly coming out like throughout the week.
Yeah, I mean, so I kind of was, notified of this story, kind of seeing the ongoing lawsuits and, kind of their information on the background being kind of brought to the forefront. So yeah, I would imagine if this is honestly true and there's, real issues with them flipping illegitimate game keys, then yeah, I would imagine this is probably the first of many lawsuits that they're going to probably be faced with. So I don't know if they're necessarily long for this world at this point. I've always kind of loved the kind of like discount nature of how PC players are able to get their games. Like Steam sales are just like amazing. And so there being a third party on top of that, finding another way to get even cheaper keys blew my mind. When I found out, I was like, man, these PC guys, not only do they get to play like better performing games and prettier games because of the, without the fact that there's not these technical constraints on PC, but on top of that, they're finding ways to get the games even cheaper than us on console. I'm like, man, shout out to you guys. But yeah, man, I don't know how this company existed in the first place. I know this is not my place of expertise by any means. I was not familiar with this company. I did not use them, but I'm like, how they expected to operate doing this in such a overt manner? Because again, this name apparently was floating out there for quite some time in a very, out there manner, and people knew about this site. Yeah. And I was like, if you guys are flipping illegal keys this out in the open, I can't believe that they've survived as long as they did.
Yeah, it's weird. Again, I don't know how long the site's even been around, but I've always heard of it, and it's not like other websites where, like, there's like a couple pretty big Twitter accounts, Wario64 and them, who always tweet what websites have good deals. Yeah. They will never, to my knowledge, tweet about this website.
I've never seen it.
They'll do like Green Man Gaming and all these other ones, and all these other good sources, but I've never seen them do that. And that was always my first sign. I was like, well, Wario64, and I think it's a Cheap Gamer or something like that on Twitter.
Yeah, and IGN Deals doesn't either.
And IGN Deals. I was like, I've never seen them talk about this website. And the website looks legit, and until you start looking into the background. So it's always been a shady thing. And usually if something looks shady, it is shady. The internet, we live in a world where everything's pretty transparent. So again, you just can't start selling most of the time AAA games a week, 2 weeks after on a crazy discount. Getting Rage. My friend who got Rage the week after launch. Like, I know that game did go on sale pretty quickly, like a month after because of low sales, but the PC version, PC versions, either they get a crazy discount on a Steam sale or something like that, or they stay the same price. Because if I were to go look up Rage 2 right now, I think on Steam, if it even is on Steam, I don't know if they did it exclusive, it'd be $60. So
yeah,
it's a weird situation. It's probably going to end up being either a transformation of the website, where they're probably going to start just like kind of hosting where the deals are, because this is not going to go away. These companies are going to get on top of them, especially once these bigger companies, like, let them try to put like Doom up there. And again, I don't look at the website, so who knows if like Doom and stuff like that are even up there for super low.
Yeah, I mean, well, if there's any updates to the story in any capacity, I'll keep my eyes out, and we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm anticipating, if anything, the next story is going to be these guys being shut down.
Yeah.
But who knows?